Hey everyone, in our Metropolis for Chicago family, Father Cosmas here again from my home office. I encourage you to enjoy this next participant of our virtual Metropolis of Chicago Oratorical Festival.
My name's Luke Christie. I go to Holy Apostles in Westchester, and I'm going to my senior year of high school. I'm his older brother, Andreas, and we go to Holy Apostles in St. Spiridon. I'm going to my senior year of college. Here we go.
I want to welcome you guys. Thanks for taking the time. And Luke, let's hear your speech.
All right, Father Cosmas. So I think this is the third year now that I've done the Oratorical Festival. And the topic I chose this year was, in his enthronement address, Archbishop Elpidoforos said, "We are all deacons. Discuss the importance of being a deacon, a servant in the church today." And my speech goes a little something like this. Your Eminence, Reverend Fathers, Presbyters, and brothers and sisters in Christ, greetings. In a time over 2,000 years ago, the 12 apostles took over Jesus' earthly ministry and began preaching, baptizing, and spreading Christianity across the world. But while the church's popularity spread like wildfire, crowds grew too large. There became too many mouths to feed, and the apostles found themselves needing a lot of assistance. To solve such problems, 7 individuals whom the apostles saw fit were handpicked to aid the development and facilitation of the young church. These 7 men were the first to step into a completely selfless but necessary role as deacons in the Christian church. By helping the apostles in any way necessary, the Greek word diakonia, which refers to serving others, reveals a deacon's true duty, service. As their role serving the church has developed over time, deacons have become the Swiss Army knives of the Orthodox Church. They minister to the people, they aid the bishops, they lead the faithful in prayer, ultimately helping wherever they are needed, whenever. This vastness of a deacon's role helps us see that they serve in a myriad of ways, which sets a fantastic example for all of us. Just as their service is not limited to one role, the leaders of our church push us to live our lives in a similar manner. They reinforce what Jesus Christ tells us. As you did it to one of the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me. They push us to strive for a lifestyle of service for Christ. But in a world where we are all so busy, how is this possible? All of us have our jobs, school, or any obligation that seemingly keeps us from pursuing this lifestyle of service. But it is easier to find ways to serve others than you may think. The church offers countless opportunities for service through many ministries, from choir to Goya, dance troupe, parish council, and so much more. And let me tell you, they need your help. For example, days spent making and packing meals for the needy is a very direct way of serving others. And most parishes have caregiver support groups that help the elderly and disabled in your very church. Each time we give ourselves to others, each time we serve, we take the next step in becoming a deacon for others by ministering to the least of these. See, most of us could think of ways to start getting involved, but the beauty of service is that it isn't tailored to any one type of person. Anyone, man, woman, boy, or girl, can be a deacon for others. Women play a vital role in the Philoptochos, a women's group dedicated to aiding the poor, hungry, sick, orphaned, and victims of disasters. Young girls can serve in the Holy Week services representing the myrrh-bearing women, the first people to witness Christ's resurrection. And even as a young man, my parents still ask me every week, "Are you going to serve in the altar this Sunday?" As I hope many of you may have realized, you can help too. As a great man once said, now is the time. Now is the time to choose something you can do. Now is the time to involve yourself. Now is the time to pick up your cross, to live a lifestyle of service, to be a deacon for others. And in today's day and age, we need deacons more than ever. Service isn't a new concept, and in our ever-growing world, with COVID knocking on each of our doors, we are now tasked with an incredible opportunity to minister to the least of these. As COVID has touched every corner of our lives, we serve others by following the safeguards promoted by the leading doctors of our nation. Wearing a mask in public doesn't protect you from the ayah, more so than how it protects the yacht from us or anything harmful to her. When we try to keep those who are susceptible safe, we minister to the least of these. Amid these times, my brothers and I have recently begun to take action ourselves. Because hospitals are not allowing visitors, people are dying alone and being isolated. Many people weren't dropped off with a device to communicate with their families. Most don't have chargers. Together, we started a fundraiser, raising money to buy chargers that we have supplied hospitals with. Two of my brothers, one of them is sitting right next to me, actually shaved their heads. Our vision of giving each patient the opportunity to talk to their loved ones helps keep all of us together by serving one another and providing those who might be lonely with company. By being a deacon for others, all of us are trying to model Jesus's lifestyle of service. We follow what he commands us. Go and do likewise. Ultimately, when we serve others, we aren't benefiting ourselves, and we do not do it seeking recognition. As we continue to serve to the least of these, we find that admiration and accolades is not the return, but St. John tells us what we come to realize. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. Thank you.
All right. Nicely done. Snaps.
Thank you. Thank you, Father Cosma.
Luke, that was an excellent speech. Really. Nicely done. Great delivery. Too bad we're not actually scoring this year. I'm sure that speech would have challenged going to the national competition. It was really well done. Thank you for sharing it with us. As I mentioned before, I want to ask you guys a couple questions. And now, having heard your speech, I want to also kind of go off the normal track and even talk about the work you guys are doing. But first, let's just start with the speech. There's a lot of different topics. Why did you pick the topic connected with diaconia from our new Archbishop's enthronement address?
So I don't know. I really like seeing everybody with a smile on their face. So it's whether you can help somebody, I don't know, by giving them something to eat when you're driving by, if somebody's begging or something like that, or I don't know, just giving somebody a compliment and making them feel nice. I always like seeing everybody with a smile on their face. So service is something to me, like I truly like try to live a lifestyle of service for Christ. And I know Andreas would say that I don't quite often, but I don't know. I guess you could say that that's why I chose that.
That's awesome. It's good to have big brothers to keep you in check too. So
speaking of four of them, being humble is important.
It's so important. Speaking of big brothers, let's talk about the project you guys are working on. Andreas and your brother Michael are in the medical field. I'm assuming Michael was the other one involved with
Billy,
the project.
It's actually Billy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Billy's involved with it. What's going on with that? What are you guys doing?
So initially we joined forces. We were just looking for a way to get involved, just to, like we talked about, raise money to supply chargers to different hospitals. And so initially we joined forces with a local Chicago nurse who had already made an impact on a nationwide scale with connecting with someone in California, supplying over, I think, $30,000 worth of chargers. And so we actually tried to get involved with her. We got in communication, and with the money that we raised, we started working together with her to distribute to Chicagoland hospitals. And we still have more chargers to give out, and we're just looking for more places to send them.
Fantastic. As a quick aside, if there's any links or anything like that you want me to share out, you guys let me know. Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
That's really cool. And so this idea of service in concept is something that's become acted out in your guys' lives too. Connected with that, another question I guess it's really for you, Luke, specifically, but Andreas, if it's true for you, kind of watching your little brother participate in the Oratorical Festival, what have you learned? What value has participating in the Oratorical Festival provided for you, Luke, and even if for you as well, Andreas, if it's spilled into your life?
I mean, aside from just meeting people who also share a lot of the same ideas and things like that, the same thoughts, it really allows you to cultivate your faith in your own way, and for you to kind of really, really work on your relationship with Christ, because it's something that you do. You know what I mean? It's your own work, and regardless of how many other people in the family are giving you their ideas and telling you to write this or write that, it's really yours. And it's something that at the end of the day, if you compete or not compete, participate in the festival, it's you really find that it's something that brings you a lot closer to Christ, because it's something that you work on with Christ. So it's a relationship builder for me, definitely.
That's awesome. You want to add anything, Andre?
Yeah, and then going off that, you know, I was just gonna say, like Luke especially, and you know, just kind of all of us, from not through participating, but either working with him or just looking into concepts more and learning more about our faith. That helps you to articulate what you believe in, and that's something that's very important. Being able to articulate and share with other people the faith that's so important to us, because a lot of people don't understand what we believe in. They have misconstrued thoughts and different things. But if you can articulate what you believe in accurately, you know, it really does help and deepens your own faith. And I know Luke is going to have a good time taking public speaking in college. You know, he probably can't wait.
Yeah, especially I think after his experience that he will have at Lighthouse, like I think that'll kind of launch him into that, which is really great.
Yeah.
So that's really awesome. And I know you guys have really supported him in his work. I remember last year in St. Louis, seeing a bunch of you guys there with him. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about the Oratorical Festival for me, if I can share, which is that I'm a firm believer that everyone's a convert. We have this notion that there's cradle Orthodox and converts, those who are born into the faith and those who convert later in life. I think at the end of the day, all of us are converts because at some point we all choose to make our faith our own, or we don't. Some don't choose, unfortunately, they don't. Maybe they will later in their life. And that's what I love about the Oratorical Festival, kind of like you said, Andreas, is that you see young people have their own voice, have their own thoughts about the faith. I can't tell you how inspiring that is, at least for me as a clergyman. You can see it in the faces of the parents too. It's so inspiring to see the next generation, the new generation, have something to say about their faith and interweave that with what's going on in our culture, politically, what's going on in our society, what challenges we're facing. And so I'm grateful for both of you for taking the time to be with me to share that voice. Before we go, the last question I've asked everyone is for you, Luke, which is why should one of your peers participate in the Oratorical Festival? Why should they do it?
I think for the exact reason that I told you, you know what I mean? You really, it brings out your entire relationship with God, and it really shows you and shows you the intricacies of that, and helps you really determine what you believe in and how it really affects your life. All the 3 topics that I've chosen, it's really funny because you'll gravitate towards the topic or towards the thing that you want to work on and the things that you have questions about. And you'll find yourself answering so many of your own questions that you have, and really coming away with a greater reverence and understanding and of not only your faith, but you'll want to live what you have worked on as well. So that's what I would have to say.
That's fantastic. I love it.